The governing board member, Miguel Cuevas.
You are an idiot.
Oh, wait, I missed it. You know what it was followed up with?
Waka waka.
He was kidding. It was all a joke. The district continues to negotiate contracts with unions for teachers and middle management. Their contracts run to the end of the month, which is the same extension the blue-collar workers wanted. Look, it's no different than the city council. These school governing board members don't care about losing their jobs because they know they're not going to, because not enough people are going to be paying attention to the TUSD governing board to go and make a difference. Now, people are trying. Don't get me wrong. People are trying. But until people wake up, and we don't have enough of them yet, and actually go and put people on the TUSD governing board to change what's happening in the district, they're going to continue to provide the 1-2 punch for Tucson, and that is TUSD plus the city council equals Tucson circling the drain. Those are our two biggest problems, because they're the two biggest entities, and they are doing way too much to waste our taxpayer dollars. It's hurting our students. It's hurting the future of the city. They don't have the taxpayer dollars at heart. They don't. They lose money. They mismanage money. They lose equipment. They mismanage equipment. And then they spend millions of dollars on what? Biased ethnic study programs, which get defended to the nth degree and actually have fundraisers to raise money to mount a legal challenge against HB 2281, which says the state can pull 10% of TUSD's budget if it can prove the courses of the ethnic studies advocate ethnic solidarity, promote the overthrow of the U.S. government, or cater to a specific group. Here's the problem, though, and I'm glad K-Gun 9 on your side is covering the story, but they're not asking the right questions. They're doing a comprehensive job of covering what's going on, but what needs to be asked is, are you teaching the overthrow of the government? When you talk to these individuals who are defending this program, you need to ask them at their 12th Annual Institute for Transformative Education, what are you teaching the kids? What is this about? Let me go ahead and play you the K-Gun 9 on your side story from yesterday.
USD's Ethnic Studies program has divided the state's educators. On one end, State Superintendent Tom Horne, who wants to shut it down. The other, teachers who support and defend the program. So why don't the two sides just sit down and talk it out? In this Not on Your Side Education Watch, Steve Nunez put that question to both educators and the state superintendent.
More than 200 educators and students welcomed Dr. Rodolfo Acuna, the activist scholar and author of TUSD's controversial Raza Studies book, Occupied America.
All progress has been a product of unity.
At today's Ethnic Studies Conference, Acuna now defines Chicano studies as the birth of pedagogy or expanding the mind.
How to teach Mexican students to stay in school.
Acuna's message turns the tables and challenges the state to improve education.
Stop it right there real quick. You go back to Acuna's comments, teaches kids to stay in school. Okay, how? I mean, that's what needs to be asked. How are you teaching the kids to stay in school? Why are you telling the kids to stay in school? Go ahead and continue with the clip.
TUSD's Ethnic Studies program has divided the state's education.
By having dilapidated schools. You would have children by not having a curriculum that engages you. And this is what the Raza Studies does. It engages you.
Stop right there. It engages. He says you do have, he says, Acuna accused Tom Horne of doing nothing to decrease the dropout rate. Acuna pointed to the state funding ranking at the bottom nationally per capita per student. Acuna said you don't educate children by having dilapidated schools. You don't have a curriculum that engages you. This is what La Raza Studies does. It engages you in dialogue. Again, what's the dialogue? And you can't have it both ways. You can't sit back and say we're going to spend almost $3 million on ethnic studies programs when that money could be going to fix up your dilapidated schools but we got to keep them in order to engage the kids. And again, the question that needs to be asked is, what is the dialogue that you're keeping to engage the students? You know, if that is the criteria, then fine. We'll start a class on Nazi fascism, and we'll promote how bad the Jews are and how we should persecute the Jews, and we'll use that argument as a means to push the program. And we'll say, well, we're just engaging the students in dialogue. They find it fascinating to find out more about Hitler and Nazi Germany. They want to know more about how the white man is the master race. Well, you can't have a class like that because that's wrong. Well, we're just engaging the students. We're just trying to decrease the dropout rate. You have to be able to engage them and open their minds to new things. What is it they're teaching them? I'll get into more of that coming up. Go ahead and play more of the story.
It engages you in a dialogue.
So we wanted to know if that dialogue also includes a conversation with State Superintendent Tom Horne. You have a captive audience who supports you. How do you get your message out to be able to find compromise with your opponents, such as State Superintendent Tom Horne?
If he were a person of good faith, he would have gone over here and looked at that program and studied that program.
Instead of dialogue, Acuna says the process for social change will be achieved with the power of the vote. We asked Tom Horne why, as state superintendent, he too refuses to talk to his opponents.
Why not create a dialogue with the students who want to be taught about their own history?
Well, my problem is not with the students. I think students are being misled. My problem is with the radical Rasa Studies teachers.
Are you a radical?
Am I a radical? Would I like to push the envelope on education? Yes, I would.
Steve Nunez with our report. Now, Horne says he wouldn't have attended today even if he had been invited. Ethnic studies supporters say the program's future will be decided by the courts.
Listen, they need to be at... Well, let me back up real quick. First off, Acuna, why is he the spokesperson for ethnic studies? He wrote one book that happened to have one line that everyone's got a hubbub over, which they have a right to be, the Killed the Gringo line. He doesn't teach the courses. He's not in there every single day. Talk to Sean Arce. Talk to the guys in charge of it. Get Augustine Romero. Ask him. And what you need to ask them is, does the class teach that minorities do worse in school because the curriculum is written by whites and designed to keep Latinos down? Does the class teach them that they are oppressed because of their skin color and that law enforcement is an extension of that oppression upon them, of the white man's hand that keeps them in their ghettos? That's what needs to be asked. They got to talk to the guys who are in charge of this program. And let me also add, the bill doesn't ban the ethnic studies. It bans specific parts, right? That you can't promote the overthrow of the U.S. government, can't cater to a specific ethnic group, can't advocate ethnic solidarity. Nobody is arguing against that. TUSD said the classes don't do that. Then why in the world are they defending it? If the class doesn't do that, why are you defending it? All you've done is proven that the lawsuit's that the bill is absolutely valid. Listen, I hate to simplify this. I really do. We got to take a break. But real quick, I hate to simplify this too much. Okay. However, this is America. Can we just say that? This is America. It's the land of the free, and it's the home of the brave. If you're going to go and teach other cultures, that's fine. You should all embrace your culture. We're a country that invites other cultures, and we should take pride and honor in our culture. But first and foremost, we're Americans. And we need to go and do more to tell the students that we are a country that goes out of its way and does more than virtually every other country to ensure that everybody has the same opportunity as everybody else. All you have to do is take personal responsibility and work hard. But that's not what these courses do. They're little victimization courses. They're little agenda courses. They're pushing a double standard, they're completely hypocritical, and they're fighting tooth and nail because they know how powerful this course is in brainwashing these students to